Hello and welcome back to Bold TV. As you guys may know, some of the issues that I'm most passionate about are real estate and wealth building in underserved communities. My featured entrepreneur today is an expert in both. Welcome Lynn P. Smith, CEO of BuyTheBlock.com. How are you?
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Michael.
I'm
Um,
excited to have you here. Now, a lot of minority communities see improvements when they become gentrified. How can we make it easier for people in the community to invest where they live?
the first and foremost is they need to invest together as, using these vehicles that are out there, which is REGCF, REGD, basically creating a real estate syndication deal. A lot of, this is something that's available for most larger investors, but now you can use these platforms, these tools to be able to have smaller investors in these deals. So using RegCF like a platform like Buy the Block will allow them to invest and be a part of these deals as well, from a smaller level, not necessarily have to put up a lot more cash or more or higher cash.
To just simplify it a little bit in terms of having the access and people investing small amounts into co-owning properties, essentially. How does Buy the Block work? Can you break it down for us, like really succinctly? How does Buy the Block work, and how does it actually help give people access to that type of ownership, even if it's for less money, like $100?
Yes, great question. So the way Buy the Block works, a developer creates a project. They have a property, or they have a property that they work out some sort of agreement with the seller. They create a company, a single asset entity. They get their EIN. They bring all of that information over to Buy the Block, and we help them put together what this deal would look like to be able to have investors in it. Being being that we have to split up the company into shares. That's what we do. We assist them with what that process look like. We refer them to attorneys and different experts in the field that will allow them to create this vehicle for others to invest in. Once they create the vehicle, all the paperwork is done. A project is put up on Buy the Block. We file with the SEC, letting the SEC know that this developer is going to be raising money on Buy the Block. And then from there, once it's live, the investors or the platform or the people that are on the platform can put monies together to be able to buy the block together, basically, or purchase in that, or buy assets in that real estate. It is a very it's not a long process, it's not a tedious process, but it does take, some knowledge, some skill for a developer to go through all of those skills. And that's what we help them with.
That's what you guys come in. You bring the technology that enables people to buy into it. And this is typically for those of you guys out there watching who may not have heard of the terms Reg A, Reg CF, Reg D. Reg CF is a regulation that allows non-accredited investors to invest in projects like this. These projects have historically been kept to people who made $200,000 a year or were worth $1 million, not including your home, which practically limited good opportunities to people who already had money. So did I get that right? Did I get that somewhat right?
You are absolutely right. Yes,
Okay, all right.
absolutely right. And so with the Jobs Act, with the passing of the Jobs Act, it allowed smaller investors to be a part of these pools as well. So that happened in 2016, and since then we've been open and available, and create a vehicle for where we just purchase real estate together, which is Buy the Block.
Which goes back to that ethos of buying the block collectively. Now, what are some successful projects for the RegCF regulation in real estate? Because RegCF typically is used for startups as an alternative way to raise money. What are some successful projects, and how did they actually work for the RegCF and real estate?
So it works by engaging the community. So the successful project was $1 million raised for an 18 single family home unit and a commercial space development out of Houston. And that is actually one of the first projects to raise that type of money in real estate space, period, for using RegCF. This project, it became successful because it had a portion of it that allowed people to to feel like they're being a part of something, they're doing something good. One of the things that the project owner really wanted to emphasize was keeping the current residents in those facilities, not evicting them, making making necessary upgrades and improvements to the surrounding area, to the commercial unit, but keeping the current residents in there. And that really resonated with a lot of people in our community, that they've been a part of the gentrification process. They've seen it. They felt that impact. And so
essentially gentrification without displacement.
Exactly.
All right. So how can folks watching get involved with what you do, whether it's finding projects or perhaps even listing projects, if they're ready to get into to jump into real estate ownership? How can they do it? How can they follow you? How can they get there?
The first and foremost, they need a project. They need a property. So they need to identify their niche. What will they focus on? Multifamily, single family, duplexes. They need to identify what their niche will be. Secondly, they need to have some sort of contract or agreement with the seller. Once they or at least some sort of communication, a line of communication that is open with the sellers or the brokers of the property. And then from there, they then reach out to us using buytheblock.com on our contact us page and let us know that here's something that they're looking into. Here's the project that they're working on, or they're working with the owners, and then we'll take them through the necessary steps to be able to do that. But they first need to identify their niche, identify the property, and then come to us with the rest, and we'll help them with everything else.
What's the best project that you've seen, and how can people aspire to do that?
Oh wow. There was a project that raised $12 million in like 12 minutes for a real estate deal, and that was, to me, that was phenomenal. It was a Reg D, it was not a Reg CF.
So it wasn't a Reg CF,
it was but it raised the money in such short time. And I thought that was impressive, and I really want to be able to see people all around the world be able to do this and empower themselves through these type of processes, because we don't necessarily have to go to major institutions. I mean, we can if we want to, but we don't have to when the community is willing to back us within 12 minutes with $12 million. So that was very impressive to me, and it fueled me to know that, hey, look, this is definitely doable. Definitely doable to have our community back some of these projects with their dollars and be owners in these projects.
To be owners in these projects. Thank you so much for being here, Lynn. Valuable insights as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you all, of course, for watching. As usual, follow Bold TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Have a great day. I'm your host, Philip Michael, and I'm out of here.